This song just keeps building up. It's got so much energy to it. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album Strap It On by the metal band Helmet. Now Helmet is a band that I am not familiar with. As far as I know, I've never heard any of their music, but you guys keep recommending them down in the comments of my other videos, so I figured it was about time I sat down and finally gave some of their music a listen, and I figured I would start off with their debut album Strap It On, and yeah, just see what I'm going to think of Helmet. Alright, so up first is track 1, which is called Repetition. I love how hollow this song sounds right off the bat. It kind of has an industrial element to it. Yeah, especially with that percussion, it just has like this really, the best word I can come up with is hollow effect going on with its sound. It just sounds like they're playing in like this big empty warehouse almost, like there's a lot of echoey sounding effects to their music. That was track 1, Repetition. I really enjoyed how hard-hitting that song was. It brought a lot of intensity to it, but they kept it so stripped back sounding at the same time. It was very like raw and minimalistic in a way, just with the effects that they were using on those instrumentals. Very reminiscent of like Deftones, kind of with all that atmospheric stuff that they add on. But I am definitely intrigued to hear more now. I'm going to move on to track 2, which is called Rude. I love this really steady percussion here, and they're kind of building onto that with all of these other layers. I feel like his voice really complements the instrumentals. It has this really raw, visceral, unpolished quality to it, kind of like this growling nature almost to his voice. Yeah, even that guitar, it just sounds so pushed back almost. I don't know, there's just something so deconstructed about the sound of this band so far that I really like. That was track 2, Rude. I loved the percussion of that one. It was very steady throughout the whole thing, and it just held a very prominent place in that track. But then they were doing all of this stuff with the vocals and everything kind of on top of that percussion. And the vocals on that one too, I loved how he was just kind of giving it everything he had. There's just such an intense rawness to his voice. Like he's not holding anything back. He's just kind of giving it everything he's got, which is really coming through in their music. There's definitely a lot of passion and energy that they're pouring into this. All right, moving on to track 3, we have Bad Mood. It's your bad mood. It's a look. You lost your head. This song has a distinct sharpness to it. It just has a really quick rhythm going on here. Yeah, and there's even like a slight, almost screechy quality to the guitar here. Again, it's giving it like a really strong industrial sound, kind of an unpolished quality. That was track 3, Bad Mood. That was a speedy little song, that's for sure. Just such a quick, rapid tempo to it with that percussion and everything. And I don't know what those sounds were going on at the end there with that guitar. They just had this really crazy distortion to them combined with that echoey quality. Like I said, just something very industrial about this album so far. Moving on to track 4, we have Sinatra. Now this one I'm actually really excited to hear because I've heard the Deftones cover of this song and really loved it. So I'm excited to hear the original and yeah, just see what I'm going to think of it.
I can't move her. She needs affection. What me? Drive around town.
I love these instrumentals, man. Somehow they just make them so unpolished and gritty sounding, but yet with that echoiness, there's like this big open atmospheric quality to them too. I love that combination.
What's the best for me? What's the best for me?
This is yet another track where his vocals have a little bit of a smoother quality to them. Again, like they're intense, he's delivering on the energy, but there's almost a bit of a melodicness to him. I sense that it's building up. We're gonna get some energetic impact here in a second. Oh yeah.
She doesn't see me. I don't care.
Again, another example of like a perfect pairing with the instrumentals and the vocals. They somehow just suit each other so well.
What's the best?
I have goosebumps. How this song is just building up here at the end. That was track 4, Sinatra, and I loved that one as much as I thought I would based on the Deftones cover. Just the atmospheric quality of that song was amazing. They built up the instrumentals so effectively at the beginning there, and then toward the end too, how they just got more and more intense with their delivery. There's almost like an urgency to their sound on that one, like they were grabbing for something and not quite getting it. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. The song just kept building up, kind of mimicking that almost, and then just toward the end there, they were bringing so much energy to that track. I thought it was fantastic. But moving on to track 5, we have FBLA. That was unexpected, how they just stopped the song completely there.
The angry and young do will hard. Time to kill your soul deep
Man, I love all the sounds they're using. They're somehow keeping their music pretty minimalistic in terms of the instrumentals and everything, but they're doing a lot with it. It's just some really funky sounds going on. That was track 5, FBLA. Again, another one with like a really sharp kind of quickness to it. And that one definitely reminded me of Adrenaline by Deftones. They kind of had that sound to it. I can definitely tell listening to Helmet that they were a band that inspired Deftones with their sound, because there's a lot of similarities I'm picking up on for sure. But that track, I loved how toward the end there, it almost got a little bit clearer with its sound. And again, it just brought so much punchiness and energy at the very end there. Moving on to track 6, we have Blacktop. There's something about these guitars. They have like just a bit of a fuzzy quality to their sound that's almost giving their music a sort of softness, but then it's contrasted by the sharpness of that percussion and all of the intensity and unpolished quality of their sound.
Blacktop.
I loved that percussive part right there. There's like some effects in the background that almost sound like someone yelling. I think it's just a distorted guitar though. That was track 6, Blacktop. I loved the energy of that one. Yet again, something so bare bones about it, but they bring such an impact to it at the same time. I really enjoyed the guitar on that one, how they had that slight distortion to it. It kind of brought like this feeling of warmth to the very beginning of that song, and then like I said, when they brought in more of the percussion and the vocals, it brought back that raw, unpolished quality to their sound. But moving on to track 7, we have Distracted. The vocal delivery on this one is really interesting. Here we go with the wild screams. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this track. There's something kind of loose and relaxed about the rhythm to it, but then they'll kind of change it up a bit on you. Like there's something kind of relaxed about it, and then they just do that. Pretty abrupt ending to that one. But that was track 7, Distracted. I really enjoyed that one. The vocals, how they were changing those up, you kind of had the verses where you fell into this sort of groove almost, like this sort of relaxed tempo to them. And then on the chorus, he would just scream and like let loose all of that energy on the vocal delivery. And it was just such a contrast. I really enjoyed it. All right, up next is track 8, which is called Make Room. Again, kind of a fuzziness to this one at the start. Again, I love how on this track they're just stopping it for a few seconds and then they're bringing that sound back in. It just adds kind of this jarring quality to their music, like it's very unexpected. There's all these subtle guitar sounds that they're just blending together. It's making for this really intense sound going on in the background. Now it's just like a punch in the face. That was track 8, Make Room. I loved the ending of that. It just built up throughout that song, and then at the end there, it was just like a punch that came right at you. And then it kind of ended with that soft distortion kind of like spreading out almost. It was kind of like throughout that track, you just had all of this intensity building up. There was like this tension. And then at the very end, it was like it was all released in this cascade of sound. But up next is the last song on Strap It On, which is track 9 called Murder. Percussion is so unrelenting. I don't know what those vocalizations were. There's such a weighty distortion on this one, like a heaviness to this song. They're doing so much crazy stuff with their instruments. It's like the guitar and everything. This song just keeps building up. It's got so much energy to it. That was track 9, Murder, the final song on Strap It On. I absolutely loved that thing from start to finish. It just brought so much intensity, perhaps the most intense song on that entire album in my opinion. And then with the distortion and everything too on that guitar that I heard, it just brought a sort of weightiness to that song as well. Just all around a fantastic track. I loved the sounds and everything going on, and just a great way to close this album out. Alright, well that concludes my reaction to Strap It On, the debut studio album from the band Helmet. I can certainly see why a lot of you were recommending this band to me since I loved Deftones so much. There's definitely a lot of similarities between Helmet and Deftones sound. And yeah, I loved this thing. This was a fun little album to listen to. It brought so much intensity to it. But there was also this sort of deconstructed, kind of industrial element to it too that I loved. And they just blended that with all of that amazing distortion and atmospheric quality so well. I think my favorite track upon first listen is going to be track 4, Sinatra, the one that Deftones did a cover for. I loved the Deftones cover and I love the original too. I think both are amazing. But I also loved track 9, Murder. I thought that was such an intense way to end the album and it just had such a fantastic sound to it. But yeah, I'm so glad I've finally given Helmet a listen to and have heard Strap It On, and I'm definitely looking forward to diving further into their discography and just hearing more music from them. But yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned and I will see you in the next video.